All right, guys, what's going on? James here with NATTY News Daily Weekly, and I've got a couple stories for you guys this week. And if you recognize that as a poor man's attempt at Nick's Drink of the Power intro, I appreciate you. But we do have a couple stories as we have been doing the past couple weeks. Going to go through three. A little bit of a slower week, less drama, less controversy this week. Just a couple things I wanted to highlight. The first one you see is Carl Sievert. If you don't know who Carl is, he is one of the most intense looking natural physiques that you're going to see of this generation, right? So I specifically was coming to this post, came across my feed, dad bod, right? Carl is one of the densest naturals I think I've seen. And as his name implies, Freddy Krueger, he gets absolutely diced every single time he competes. Like one of the leanest people I've seen, and one of the first people that I saw to get this conditioning. So I've always kind of really liked watching his preps and watching his stories. He doesn't post a lot, and he stays within the IPE as he has been their champion. I'm going to look at those stats specifically here, right? 2020 pro heavyweight, and then four-time IPE pro champ for their worlds, right? So well recognized within the IPE. I would personally love to see him at something like the Mr. A, so we could see him compete against some of the other big names outside of that federation. I don't know if he ever has any intentions to, but I think fans would love it. As you can see, right, phenomenal physique on him here. Definitely shredded. And this was, let me look so I don't misspeak here, down 20 pounds in just under 10 weeks, right? So pulling the weight off pretty quickly. 37 years old, so he's not young in the game, but he's getting the old man muscle, right? And as we've seen with guys like Berto, right, just peaking as you're getting into the late 30s, early 40s, which is crazy to say, but that's the beauty of this sport, right? So looking forward to his prep, looking forward to his final form. I'm going to show you guys just this photo right here, the comparison of young Carl to, well, not current, but 2019, just so you guys can see that conditioning that he gets, right? Cross striated quads, the pecs are just split open. I love his look. It's just dense. Absolutely. That's the definition. All right, moving on to something a little bit more wholesome, if you will. I don't know if that's the right word, but so Michael Wittig here. I'm going to click just to make sure. Yep, I'm pronouncing that right. Michael. So outside of the stage, outside of the gym, outside of the flexing and underwear, it's cool to see a bodybuilder giving back to the community, right? So he's got Channel 6 local news on a reoccurring segment, Wellness Wednesday. So just kind of cool to see someone within our realm giving back beyond just coaching other athletes and giving back to the general population through, I guess this segment was specifically on nutrition and kind of some of the guidelines that are easy for us or things that we understand that might not be so easily understood or, you know, truth to the general population, right? Because we know there's so many myths, there's so many wives' tales, there's so many misconceptions around nutrition, and we still don't know 100%. But if those that study physique sports and bodybuilding and nutrition don't know, the general population has no idea. So again, cool to see someone give back to the community in that way. And he just gave some helpful tips for Gen Pop on how to lose weight or just become healthier in general, right? Because it's not always about losing weight. And then we're coming right on over to our third story here. This is more of a discussion piece, right? So Alberto Nunez, if you follow him, and if you don't, I don't know what you're doing. If you do follow him, you know he's one for these little quotes. And now this one isn't specifically from him, but he shared it and I loved it. And he says it's part of his 10 prep commandments. He who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary. Now, I am absolutely guilty of doing this. There is one particular prep, which the people that know me know which one it was. It was the one I suffered the most. It was the one I fell asleep on a leg press. I had this grand idea where I was going to almost reverse the process of prepping. I was going to slash my calories super, super low from the get-go and then incrementally walk them up the entire way of the show. So I was going to go a huge deficit and then make the deficit smaller the entire way because still I'm technically in a deficit and I'm intentionally slowing weight loss. So I should be kind of recovering into the show. Terrible idea, didn't work. Don't recommend, right? So I was making myself suffer more than necessary. And if you watch Berto's last prep, you know that he was a master of not doing this, right? Made things as low key as possible, didn't track his entire prep, was going out kayaking close to shows, just kind of living life in a deficit. trying to be as, I think Eric coined this, as minimally invasive as possible, right? Trying to make it where people don't know you're prepping. That's the way to be successful in prepping. Keep it as low key as possible, keep it as slow as possible, be as conservative as possible, because we all know there's going to be side effects. We all know you're going to suffer. It's going to suck at some point. So why make that happen earlier and then just face a higher amplitude of side effects, if you will, right? So keep the cardio out as much as possible, keep the food as high as possible, be active, be healthy, do those things. But there's no reason to start with your 7 days a week of cardio and pull all fats and all carbs from the get-go, or any of these dramatic things that we like to do just for the sake of like grinding, at least in my opinion, right? And that's the point of this discussion piece. I want to know in the comment section, what do you guys do? What's your protocol? What's your preference? Do you add cardio from the get-go? Do you hold off on it? Do you even do traditional cardio at this point? Because a lot of people are just going towards counting steps and using a nutritional deficit. There's so many different ways to do this, and that's the beauty of this sport and finding your individual kind of routine and protocol. But I want to know about it. Let's get a discussion going. Let's see, do we agree with this statement, and to what degree? If you guys like this segment, send us over some stories, send us over some messages, give it a like, comment, share, subscribe. Our following is going way up recently, and we appreciate you guys. We just jumped to 17.6 thousand followers on Instagram, I believe. So let's keep that number going. Let's share the content, and let's spread love for the sport of natural bodybuilding. I'll catch you guys in the next one.